This podcast is sponsored by Pogo, property operations on the go. Facility managers know how challenging it can be to keep everything running smoothly. That's why Pogo was created, a white-labeled software solution designed by property managers for property managers. Pogo is your ultimate all-in-one platform for managing multiple assets. With Pogo, you communicate with your tenants, manage maintenance requests, control property access, manage bookable spaces, and much more. Plus, with advanced analytics, Pogo empowers you to optimize your operations anytime, anywhere. The best part? Pogo is completely customizable to fit your brand and business. Simplify your operations, enhance tenant satisfaction, and save money with Pogo. Ready to make the switch? Visit gopogo.us to schedule your demo today. Pogo, one system, multiple solutions at your fingertips. Mark Befford here, bringing you another episode of Real Opportunity, having discussions with people in the commercial real estate business.
There we go.
I'm happy to have Randy Hogan here.
Well,
Randy and I have been in the real estate business for a long time.
Absolutely.
You got the little beard going on there.
Yeah, it's great.
A little gray. My hair's gray. Your hair's gray.
There we go. Yeah.
Well, Randy, we've been around each other for a long time. Your brother was actually a partner of mine in our business for a long time.
Right.
And so I want to kind of how'd you get in the real estate business?
So I went to Trinity University in San Antonio.
Oh, did you? Okay, Trinity.
And a finance degree. And then my dad told me that he thought the real estate business was a great business to be in. And he had kind of dabbled in it with Mark Harris's dad, actually.
Oh, Jack.
With Jack, with an office building, Jamestown Office Park. And but he just kind of liked that. He had the Journal Record newspaper at the time. But he'd been very entrepreneurial. And in Houston, a banker out of Oklahoma City, Jerry Marshall, who had been the president of all three of the big banks at the time in Oklahoma City, had moved on to a bank called Capital Bank, about $1 billion in size, part of M-Bank holding company out of Dallas.
Well, $1 billion back then was a lot.
It's a lot, yeah. But they were very, very active in the real estate area. So I interviewed with them, and Mr. Marshall, I got into the credit training program. Okay. But then it was 79 and Houston was just booming. And that's kind of why I went to Houston, because it was the most active real estate market in the country. But they put me in the real estate quickly, like in 6 months. It was a 1.5-year training program. And I think that was Mr. Marshall's touch, but our loan officers have been getting hired right and left. And so I went in and was everybody's gopher for about another year and then ended up being a loan officer and at a great time in the sweet spot of Houston, the energy business. And so I had clients like Hines and,
wow. So you did some financing with Hines?
Well, we tried to make him a land loan and for the Republic Bank building.
Okay.
And that's how that was my real gotcha moment, is they took me up, and a friend of mine was the project manager of that I got to know while he was in Houston, and great guy. I sat in, it was the Pennzoil building, if you know the beautiful,
absolutely.
Yeah. And it was, the site happened to be outside the window. And so they gave me the presentation of what this building was going to be, because that was hence the land loan was the site.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the windows, curtains will open and the site's right below. And this is after this cool video presentation. And I look down, it's like being in a Bond movie. I go, good God, I want to do this. And I look right at the side, and it's a giant site.
It's like Meg Ryan, and you said you had me at hello, right?
Yeah, there you go. Right. Well, and then at the Capital Bank, we had a new building that was constructed that the Snitzer family did.
Okay.
And Mr. Snitzer was a piece of work, and he was a board member, I think, of Capital. But I quote oversaw the interior improvements of
the entire building.
It was the anchor. We were the anchor tenant. So
wow. Okay.
all the interiors, but that was a walkthrough. But I gave a guided tour to the board members of the space. We ended up in Mr. Snitzer's office, and he had this huge skyline of Houston, and all his buildings were just beautifully done and colored out, and all Mr. Hines' buildings were this taupe gray. And he was about 5'8", but just built and just was a classic cigar out of the mouth, just a real character. And so that was kind of got me going. Yeah.
Well, how'd you end up in Oklahoma City? Obviously, you're from here.
Yeah.
But so how'd you get back here from Houston?
So my dad coerced me back.
Okay.
And I really wasn't moving back to Oklahoma City. I mean, Oklahoma City back then, as we all know, is really different than it is right now.
Yeah.
And so Houston was really vibrant. And but he kind of dangled the, we could maybe do a development. And Mr. Marshall had actually moved to work with the Goldman family on all the land they had up on Memorial. And
what are the Goldmans known for?
The shopping cart.
They invented the shopping cart. It was invented here in Oklahoma.
Dollar cart.
Dollar cart.
Yeah. And but so we ended up. He was also losing. He had the Journal Record building that he had bought. Had a great deal on that.
Yep.
Moved the newspaper there off 4515 Santa Fe,
okay.
and Southwest Bell had been the tenant, his tenant. Like they leased every space. Well, they bought the One Bell, the high school building to the north.
Yep.
So he was they were all staggered leases, but he was going to lose that. And he wanted me to come back and help lease it, renovate the building, ironically operate a parking garage, which he gave me a partnership interest, which was
nice.
Had a gas station I oversaw.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
and can't change oil, but I was overseeing the gas station.
We still own the gas station, yeah.
But I liked the idea of renovating the building. And then we were going to be, we were going to develop apartments along Memorial, and Mr. Marshall, they were going to donate the land to be a joint venture. And Harold Farb was one of my customers in Houston, who at the time was the country's largest multifamily builder. And great guy, just great company. And he had told me Oklahoma City was a great apartment market. And so with that, I go, gosh, that'll do it. Got a big raise from my dad, based on bank salaries, and doubled it. And so I came up, but it was going to be try to get in the development business. And 45 days later, Penn Square Bank folded, and all plans went out the door.
In 83.
That was 82. Yeah, it was. I came back May of 82. Mark, you could move. There was so much office vacancy in Houston at the time due to the overbuilding.
Yeah,
you could move all of Atlanta, all of downtown Atlanta into downtown and into all of it, all the office space in Atlanta into Houston still have vacancy.
No way.
Yeah, that's how big it was. Like 400 million square
no
feet.
Way.
Huge, and that was not just planned. That was out of the ground.
This was in the early 80s.
Or sitting there. It was early 80s, and it took them 40 years to
fill. Yeah.
But so that's kind of, and then it was a completely new day, right? That's where. Where you and I met. Actually.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, I mean, we had a tough time in the 90s. I mean, if you think about it, from 85 all the way up to early 2000s, it was pretty desolate. So what'd you do during that period? How did you make a living, and why'd you stay here?
Yeah,
when a lot of people left.
Well, it's interesting that way. I felt my dad had, we had to backfill that space.
Yeah.
And we were leasing it for $8.50 a foot. I mean,
full service,
full serve.
Oh,
and we had the parking garage.
Yeah.
So, but see, we were up 6 blocks out of downtown, which now is a really cool area. But back then, I mean, not so, and
did you have to give away parking free?
Pretty much, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, we ultimately, I think, could charge for it. A lot of it state tenants, but we got it 98% full.
Oh, wow.
And that was thanks to my dad being so aggressive, but he had bought the building for $6 a foot, so he kind of had a pretty
$6. Nice.
Yeah, Mr. Vost told him to buy it from an insurance company. But it had huge bay depths. It was frankly a great lesson, as you know, from leasing office space. You get space that's difficult to lease. You learn more about that if you're ever going to develop a building than if you get the great building with laid out perfectly. So.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's those experiences and those actual leases that you've done, the leasing that you've done, that really make you have a more successful ground up deal.
That's right.
Long term. Yeah,
100% agree.
Yeah.
So it kind of was a real education, but I kind of really hung in there just my family, helping my dad. So, but the idea was I was going to move. That was it. And then finally, things started to turn around, and we bought, we bought a few office buildings. I just know you were on the brokerage side once or twice. And those turned out to be a really good deal. Santa Fe North we bought for just over $21 a foot.
You still own it today, don't you?
No, we sold it.
You sold it? Okay.
Yeah. That was with Gungal, Gungal family and a couple other tenants that came in and partnered with us. And that was the first, and it turned out to be a nice deal. And then we had put together like 3 or 4 other buildings, and then everybody was buying them, and then we kind of stepped out, but then we were more finally going the development direction.
Right. So, have you done it? Do you still, or does your brother develop with you, or are you doing it on your own?
So right now, our company, so Brad's a partner in Lower Bricktown.
Got it.
So active partner,
Yep.
and so, but from a development standpoint, kind of our projects, it's really within our company.
Got it. Cool.
And has been for quite a while. Yeah. Even back with East Wharf was our,
I want to talk about that because you started some of the early days of really a unique, really a niche type of product. And you built really 2 or 3 significant developments before we really get into the one I want to talk about today. Yeah. And you got the Lower Bricktown, which is the Sonic building.
Right.
And you had a heck of a time with getting that actually out of the ground because of the lawsuits and stuff with Moshi Tao.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then you were building around the canal, and I'd like to learn a little bit about that. And then you did the East Wharf, which is a fabulous project. I mean, it's really stood the test of time. Really is sitting right there on the lake with the bikes and people running around. I mean, so let's talk about Bricktown. How hard was that deal to put together?
Brutal. Yeah, and, absolutely. And I had an overlap with East Wharf.
Yeah.
So
you did both of them at the same time?
Well, East Wharf was, let's say, 2/3.
Yeah.
But the whole family, great partners to have.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But we had things still going on with the East Wharf, which was, I think, the first public-private partnership that Oklahoma City ever did. I mean, it was with the Oklahoma City Water Trust. And
actually, I do think that you helped bridge the gap to really to help other developments happen. And I mean, I'm being serious. You were a pioneer in that case.
Well, nothing was a ground lease too. That was the other thing that was tricky. I didn't know.
Oh, is it still on a ground lease?
Oh yeah, always.
Is it really?
Been. And that was also the other really
challenge. Yeah.
Challenge, but
who on the ground?
Oklahoma City Water Trust.
Okay, and they still own that today.
They do. So it's our all those buildings are sandwich ground lease.
Huh.
So
okay.
We're kind of in the middle. So But financing, that was a little trick, but we with the help, Jim Couch was the head of the Water Trust then.
Oh, was he really?
How about that?
Was he really?
Yeah, he and I were.
Yeah.
He was great to work with.
And you did some of the first forced sale units downtown with your condos there at Bricktown, Lower Bricktown?
We did.
And you sold those out really quick.
We did. We were pre-sold.
Wow.
I had
100% pre-sold.
Ramsey Drake had the condo and had it under contract next to me, and I had there were only 30. So, but the highest comp in downtown Oklahoma City was $100 a foot, and Ramsey and I both closed all cash, so there was 2 comps, so all the other units could appraise.
Oh, no way!
That's
no way.
That's
no
true.
Way. And you had to go all cash because you couldn't get financing.
No, yeah.
Because you wouldn't get appraisal.
Yeah, and unlike Ramsey, that was probably the last $400,000 I had in the bank. But that was
That's
interesting.
awesome.
But that was pretty good.
And you brought the Harkins Theater downtown.
We did, and that we back to hard. We had Edwards Theaters.
Oh, that's right.
They kind of gave us a little heads up that we had them under a ground lease that they were going to probably, file bankruptcy, or there was, you could tell they were
shaky,
new folks, and it worked out well because they did not want a long-term ground lease, right? And we could not afford to be stuck in a California bankruptcy case, so I had to go to Mayor Humphreys and tell, because part of our redevelopment agreement was a theater. And that was part of our, integral plan.
Oh.
And he was great about it. And he goes, "Well, we'll give you time to backfill it." And so,
were you part of the Bass Pro?
Oh yeah. We Bass Pro Shops we got with the help of Ed Gaylord. When the theater went south, I just go. It was so important to have retail downtown. I mean, at the time, everybody wanted to break that ice. Yeah. And so. I wrote a group of 10 prospects, none of which made any sense, and Bass Pro Shops was on that prospect, and I really thought that didn't make any sense. But the Gaylord family owned an interest in Bass Pro Shops.
Oh, did they really? Okay.
They did. They were one of the early investors, and so I don't know if Ed was still in Oklahoma City or not,
Mm-hmm.
but
He made a call.
I wrote him look, this is what I'm thinking. He made obviously a call. I didn't really hear back from Ed. I knew we were at Cassidy together in the same class, and so good friends.
Yeah.
But he, I get a call from a guy named Dave DeCou, who's the real estate manager of Bash Pro, and he goes, "Look, I've got this. It's like a fax that's been sent like 8 different places. I can barely read your name." He goes, "What is this?" He goes, "Johnny Morris wanted me to reach out to you because of the relationship with it,
with the Gaylords.
With the Gaylords." Yeah. And I said, "Well, God, that's great. Here's what I'm thinking." And he was a really, really good guy. I said, "Well, it's just that'll never work." He goes, "Because typically we're a loss leader in a mall that's 1 million square feet." And I said, "Well, we're not 1 million square feet by any stretch of the imagination, but it's." He goes, "And we've never done a downtown deal." And I go, "Great." So, but I go, "Yeah, look, this thing will affect the whole city." So it is a different. It's let's not close the book. He goes, "Well, yeah, sure, we'll explore it with you," and that's how it all got started.
And it's been successful. I mean, it's still open today. It's busy, and it's a destination place people go to.
So I still think it's the only one they've ever done downtown.
Is it really?
Yeah. But again, that was with a ton of help with the city. And
well, let's move on to East Wharf.
Okay.
So so you didn't get beat up enough down at Lower Bricktown, so you decided to go do another.
Well, East Wharf was first.
Oh, East Wharf was first. Okay.
So we were. That's frankly that's how.
Was it really? Okay.
Yeah. So that's how we kind of cut our teeth into working with the city.
Got it.
And so that's when the Lower Bricktown idea came after the bombing.
So you on a ground lease on the East Wharf side as well?
Yeah. No. Bricktown. I'm sorry. Lower Bricktown all was fee.
Simple. Okay.
I would never.
Got it.
After the East Wharf experience,
you'll never do it again.
No.
Okay, so East Wharf is the ground lease.
That was the ground lease. That had to be because it was the Oklahoma City Water Trust.
Yeah.
But that challenge was a lot. Zoning was really, really difficult because of the park and.
Well, I mean, what a beautiful thing that you did, and the great office building, the Reese Plaza.
Yeah.
That's Reese is still there. Great architectural firm here in town, and then Red Rock is still there.
Red Rock's. I was there Sunday for brunch.
It's amazing. That place is always busy,
and the little kids running all over the place
everywhere. And you're sitting there right by the boat, the sailboat, whatever
the marina,
the marina and stuff like that. So
which we did strictly for atmosphere.
You still own all those buildings today?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
The halls we're 50-50 partners on that. So
great.
that's our whole development, the marina, built the lighthouse, of course, which was
in longevity in our business is making sure you have good partners, and halls are at the top of the list.
100%.
And so you're fortunate for that, because a lot of folks out there haven't lasted because they didn't have good partners.
That's right.
Yeah.
Essential.
Essential.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the big kahuna, the big development.
Yeah.
So the half.
Yeah.
What a great thing. Long overdue, needed, especially for the north side of town. Really is truly accretive to building out, North Oklahoma City. So, how'd you get started in that project?
So, back to East Wharf. So Bill Cameron, the American Fidelity, when they acquired the tower.
Yep. By the way, you know who sold that to them?
It was you.
It was
That
me.
was right.
That's exactly right.
I'd forgotten that.
So worked with Gary Pearson.
Okay, excellent.
So Gary hired me, and we marketed that.
I had forgotten.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but Gary's awesome, great to work with, and put that deal together. Yeah.
So
that after we sold it to American Fidelity, I was out. But you're the one who actually made it what it is today.
Well, I don't know, but the key is how much land came with it.
Yeah, a lot.
I mean, it was like over 100 acres.
It was a lot.
And so Bill Cameron had, he liked going to Red Rock on the water, and he reached out to me. He goes, we've got all these. Our employee bases, as they get older, they're going to retire, and we need to hire a bunch of young people, and we would really like to, create something that's mixed use, that has the possibilities of being a real amenity, really, frankly, for our employees.
Yeah.
That's how the whole thing got started. And I said, I think it's a great idea, that you've got to, you got a site that's got some ponds, so you got a little water feature.
And, that pond is awesome. That separates the tower
from.
So you have this natural element that's beautiful that you can use and incorporate both uses together.
Right, and they're spring fed.
Are they really? Okay.
So it when I went out there, I actually went out to just check it out because it's not like I had walked it, and it was at sunset, and that you could look up at the tower, and I go, this kind of an urban feel, but you're in the suburbs, and so it kind of got. I told them, yeah, be great, and so we on the what I call the north half, which is 82nd to the ponds.
Yep.
We're we worked, and David Harper worked side by side with me on this, but we were really kind of the fee developer and fee from a marketing end. So no ownership. Yeah. Just because that's the last thing American Fidelity needs is a co-investor.
Yeah.
And so that's the north half, and then the south half I'm the managing partner, and it's with a collection of investors, which includes American Fidelity. But
well, let's talk about that because you had the north half of 82nd Street. You actually bought the south half from the McClendon family.
That's right.
Because hadn't Aubrey had purchased that at one point?
Yes.
And then you bought it from Aubrey.
That's right.
Or Aubrey's estate.
That's exactly right. And which is ironic because early on when Aubrey was laying out his campus for American Energy Partners, this is American Fidelity, but we sold Aubrey 15 acres of the 50 because he wanted to square up his campus that he had envisioned. And he was working with Wade Scaramucci at the time. And it was really more just to kind of help him out. And then, when everything, when the energy business crashed, we bought back the 15 acres because we knew we really needed 50 to do what we wanted to do. Okay. And then as we got further along, we knew the McClendon, they wanted to sell the land, and Trent Moore, with American Fidelity,
Trent's retired now, but I love Trent, great friend.
Retired, but he kind of made a run at buying that land, and they never just got there on price, so frankly, we were just focused on the north half, and.
At that time, that was all. I mean, that was a lot.
It was a lot, absolutely 50 acres. Yeah. I mean, it's a chunk. And but we had just gotten far enough along with the Andretti's. I felt like that was going to be a real deal. I thought that had a chance. And over Christmas, it was like post-Christmas holidays. A good friend of mine, Jim Robertson, asked if I wanted to go to lunch with Jim Griffith with OnQ. And I knew Jim. Fairly well, but Jim Robertson, one of my closest friends, and so we met for lunch, and I was just going to lunch with him, because he said, "Well, I've got the land south of that half under contract."
Heard that.
And I go, "Really?" And I had no clue, and I go, "Wow!" I go, "I'll be happy to help out any way I can." I told him what's going on. I think it's a great site. You'll do great with it, and then.
But they only won the corner.
And a week later, he calls and goes, "Look,
I'm in the gas.
I just want 4.5 acres. We're in the gas business. Will you take this on?" Well, they only had like 3 more weeks left in their due diligence period, and
we got extended.
We got one extension, but it was tough. But we pulled together some partners pretty quickly, and that's how that worked out.
So let's I want to talk a little bit about Chicken and Pickle.
Okay.
So Chicken and Pickle, fairly new concept based out of Kansas City, right?
Correct.
Started in Kansas City.
Right.
How do you go about getting a regional deal that's kind of new? How do you go about getting it to Oklahoma City? You talked a little bit about Bass Pro, but that's different. How do you get Chicken and Pickle to come to Oklahoma City and Andrade's? Both interesting concepts.
So kind of a big picture. It starts with, I was lucky enough I hopped on a plane with Hal Smith, and we were looking at a concept. I wanted to show him something in Kansas City. He was already going to Birmingham, Alabama to look at a concept that he was looking at. And he goes, "Well, yeah, let's go to Kansas City. We can look at this," because I wanted to make sure he was comfortable with this concept going into a development that he had already committed to in Tulsa that we had. And so, and plus he's always a blast to get together with. And so we went, and hit Kansas City, checked it out. He goes, I don't have any problem with that coming into your development at Warren Place. But he goes, I got a concept these two brothers want to show me that he thinks is really cool. It was chicken and pickle. Okay. And it was like a Tuesday afternoon. It was downtown Kansas City, not in the good part of downtown Kansas City. It's like in a warehouse district. Yeah. And I mean, it was about 2/3 full. Oof. And we had, had a beer, like some appetizers, and these guys were all telling us about it. And they wanted Hal to franchise it, and then they were out of Kansas. It was not the owner, the principal of Chicken and Pickle, but I'd seen it. That's the point. And so then about a year and a half later, we've got the half going. The Chamber of Commerce has Tammy Fate.
Tammy's awesome.
She's awesome. Yeah. And so she'd been recruiting Chicken and Pickle, and she'd called me and asked me what I thought. I go, I think it's a great concept. And they had gone Kansas City, Wichita, and so we were kind of a logical hop. And so then it wasn't Tammy. Somebody else said, hey, they're looking at your market and they want to meet. And that's kind of how I knew how good they were. And I just said, we got to make the deal, period. And by then we'd had the Delisi on one side and apartments. We'd already committed to Gary Brooks at the time.
Building those apartments. Yeah.
And so we only had so much land. And I said, well, we got to make it. And fortunately American Fidelity agreed. And
So okay, let's shift gears to flicks. How hard was it to do a theater deal, especially coming through COVID?
Brutal.
I don't know how you pulled it off.
Well, they were, Flicks was first a tough deal. It was a build-to-suit, which again, that's where American Fidelity, if you don't have their wherewithal, then that deal never gets made.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And furthermore, they don't last. And but they stuck it through them. To this day, Flicks raves about American Fidelity. They hung in there for them, and it's now, I think, it's number 2 in their chain.
Is it really?
About 11.
Wow.
And their sales are just tremendous.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah.
Well, there's not. You got ANC at Penn Square Mall, but I mean, it's the theater.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's just got all that you need in a theater these days. Yeah. And it's, it's half the size too of those. Yeah. Like a Harkins, for instance.
Yeah. So we've talked about all the glamour. Yeah. So we talked about getting the Chicken and Pickle, Andrade's, Harkins, Bass Pro, building the Sonic building. A development really starts with a complete infrastructure.
Right.
Talk to us a little bit about maybe what you go through to understand and design an infrastructure. And what does that mean and entail?
So I'll start with, it's a great question, but I always look at a master plan like a screenplay, Okay. Yeah. You've got to have the right screenplay. You've got to have the right master plan.
That sounds, you're friends with John Kennedy.
Oh yeah.
That sounds like a John Kennedy statement.
Yeah. He might have said it. I don't know. For all I know.
Yeah. I love John.
Yeah. Oh yeah. God, he's great. No, but because that master plan then leads to your pro forma, which you're the numbers guy, right? To help you figure out what makes sense or what doesn't make sense. But then it's also helps you get in your own mind what the uses could be and the walkability. There's that part of it. It's the connectivity is just huge, which like Lower Bricktown I love the canal, but boy, it split it right down the middle. I mean, it has its, you can only have so many bridges. But still, the ambiance, I think, helped that quite a bit. But I don't know how many. I bet we went through 46 versions of the half
Did you really?
Site plan. The south half was a little bit easier. Frankly, I got that done mentally quicker, much quicker. But so that's a critical part of it, and then it's a very expensive piece of it, as you know.
Yeah. So what happens below the ground? Tell us a little bit about. You and I know, but people watching this, what happens below the ground?
Yeah. So you got your infrastructure, which all becomes public, like your streets, your utilities. The coordination with the ONGs, the OG&Es, all of which is just critical. But the sewer lines, storm sewer, detention, all of that, it's its own world. And we've been fortunate to work with Tim Johnson with Johnson Associates for
best in town.
But forever. I mean, and they've been their team's been a really good, really big help to that. And then the contractor we're using on at the south half is L5, and they oversaw the infrastructure, and we had 3 really, really quality subs do that work. And but you're right, it is not the sexy stuff. Yeah.
Okay, you've been in the paper a lot lately.
Oh gosh.
For your downtown development, your new one. So tell us a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that.
You know, I guess the first phase. Okay, what I'll call the first phase. Which are the 3 towers, 2 apartment towers, 34 stories in height. We're a land seller, and then we obviously worked together with Madison, with the city to get the.
I think that's critical because people
TIF.
understand that you're really there just selling land to a developer who's going to come in and go vertical. Correct?
That's correct,
Gotcha.
because that's not our skill set.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just not us. So we approved the plan, you know, and the three towers. It started with Dream Hotel, who came to town and committed. And then the idea was condos above that.
I love the concept.
Yeah, the concept's great.
Yeah.
But anytime you get into that kind of volume of dollars, you know, you're probably $750 million to $1 billion, and you know, costs, as you know, just keep going up. So the capital stack is extremely challenging, even when you've got a great TIF that in place. So, you know, at this stage, you know, we're cheering them on basically, and just being patient, you know. And
I mean, as the city grows, you never know. I mean, it ultimately could come to fruition, but you're right, with where construction costs are and debt costs are.
Yeah,
it's hard today.
It is. It's just hard. It's everything is. And as you know, boy, if you don't have a really incentive package that just sizzles, it's next to impossible.
So what's next for you after the half? What are you going to do?
Oh, yeah. So this is, again, the overlap, which I'm not thrilled about, but it's life in the big city. So we just broke ground, you know, at the Shields development on Highway 74 and Kilpatrick.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
So that's been
awesome.
We've been working on that for 4 years.
How'd you get Shields to come here?
It's really hard. I mean, they do 1 store a year. They're company owned. They're employee owned. Yeah. They don't borrow money. They're
kind of like Crest Foods. I mean, Crest is the same. I mean, they were awesome grocer.
Same thing.
Yeah.
It's very similar. I worked with Mr. Harris a long time ago on a couple of sites, but great group out of Fargo, North Dakota. You know, I was very familiar with them because a guy that helps us market, especially the leisure entertainment uses, Steve Graham, he's out of Kansas City, but he was with Grandscape from the very beginning in North Dallas, which I don't know if you've toured.
I don't know. No, I haven't.
So Grandscape is, you know, they got Dallas, it's got Legacy West, the Dallas Cowboys Star, and then Grandscape.
I've been to the Star, but I've not been to the other two.
The other two, well, they're about only in Dallas, about 10 miles apart.
Okay. Yeah, wow.
It's like you see everything if you go. Like twice a year, I'll just go drive up and down that and see what's going on with them. But so Grandscape, Steve gave me a tour. He came to Oklahoma City and wanted to see our Lower Bricktown development. Then he offered to give me a tour of Grandscape. Well, Shields was the anchor. And, you know, I walked in and I go, I just can't believe this. And they're like 23 of the top 25 retail store volumes in the country.
Wow.
And really well run. And they had an interest in Oklahoma City. But again, you're competing with, you know, cities all over the place. Right, so, and they're heavily incentive driven.
Okay.
And so we were I went to a developers conference in Chandler where they were opening a new store. And there weren't that many. There were only about 24 people there. And Steve Shields had been and seen, it started with the half. I was trying to get them to the half.
Oh, wow.
And they needed more density on rooftops. And so David Harper, who's, you know, been with us forever, his family had 144 acres on the west side of Highway 74, north of Kilpatrick, just north of Chase Plaza.
Yep.
So not all the way to 150th.
Gotcha.
So he had our sign up, you know, on it forever, but they didn't want to. The family didn't want to split it up, and so we drove, and you know, Steve really liked that. site. You know, he goes, I think this is where
this is it.
And
wow.
This is before this was two years ago. It's before a lot.
Have you broke ground on that site yet?
I have.
You have? Okay.
Oh, yeah. We're moving dirt.
So when's it going to be open?
So this is classic Shields. March 25th, 2028.
28.
The 25th of March. That's it. And so it's a 22-month build. It's their newest prototype, which they did in Austin, and it's the same team that has built Austin, and they're coming up, and it's going to be might be their best.
So what's going to happen? So you had 100. Did you have to buy all 140 from the Harper family to then put the shields on it, and then?
Unfortunately, yes.
So how much extra do you have?
So we have. After you take the streets out, back to infrastructure, we have 110 net developable acres
left.
So
what are you going to do with that?
And so we back to the master plan. Okay. So we kind of created a main street.
Love it. Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. It is way more than I would have liked to tackle. And so Shields, we've got them kind of mid part. Mm-hmm. They're of course very specific on where they would want to be, and so we closed on another pad, Cavender's. That kind of boot. They literally just closed last week.
So you got Cavender's, you got Shields,
and then now we're working with back to the leisure entertainment, more uses there. We kind of view it as a different market than the half, just because what's going on up there, and then
what about some apartments or housing?
We'll have some definitely housing.
Okay.
So we've got residents. We're looking at we got two or three residential developers, a couple apartment developers looking at parts of this. Mm-hmm. So it's the live work play. It's kind of the thing. So So we're that's what we're working on, and it's got some office possibilities, just complete mixed use. So
wow, that's great, man. I'd love to see your master plan on that.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, no, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, you can mark it up.
Yeah. Give me some ideas.
Bring us some tenants.
Boy, I tell you, isn't it remarkable where we are today from when we started in the early '80s? Could you have ever imagined that would happen?
Not in a million years.
Now it's taken 40 years. We've been at this for 40 years.
That's a really good point.
What people people just think this happens overnight.
Right.
It's taken 40 years. What I'm hopeful, and 40 more years, I'll be 103. Hopefully I'm still working at 103.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for the next 40 years.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Well, like I just driving here, where now that you got the Myriad down to visualize the new arena, and then, I always look when I come into Lower Bricktown. I was coming from the south, and I look at what you're going to do with the soccer stadium.
Soccer stadium, yeah.
Like right there, just I mean, that's a whole nother major step.
Yeah.
And I think I went to see a soccer game in Nashville, so I've got a feel for what you're talking about. I had a blast, and I can't even tell you who's off sides. I mean, I don't know anything about soccer.
But it's fun. It's a sporting event. I mean, we think about the sporting events that we have here. We got the Thunder, obviously. We're all about the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder have helped make our city to what it is today.
100%.
But you got soccer. I think they both will work together and be very accretive. Softball. World Champion.
There you go.
The White Rider Rapids now with the Olympics. I mean, we really have. And then we got OU football, which is
huge.
It's a huge sport, and you have got a $450 to $500 million renovation of their stadium. It's just truly amazing.
And then OSU is a kind of hidden gem.
100%.
What they did with that stadium is so nice. I mean, to me, I can tell you, the buzz about Oklahoma City is really strong with who we're. The other part of this is the expansion of the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Right.
It comes up all the time. They look at us like they're northern suburb.
Oklahoma City is.
But we're easy to get. I mean, if they got a concept, if they're gonna expand, like Andretti's, they're in Grandscape, right? So Shields, obviously, Dallas.
Yeah, coming right up here. Yeah, and Windstar right in the middle has really helped kind of really makes you feel like you have something. And there's a significant development going on with south of Windstar on the Texas side. So there's a lot happening.
Yeah, so it just keeps moving north. So, but that's
Well, let's wrap up with a couple of challenges you think that we foresee here in Oklahoma City? Anything stand out to you?
So one I'm actually focused on. I think the gap between construction and market rents, whether that's hotel space or multifamily, build to rent. I mean, that's a trick. And I think the north, once you get outside of downtown, our lack of quality kind of boutique hotel, maybe little conference space, I think we need to figure out how to get some incentive package that can help fill that gap. And that economic gap, from what I hear from hotel developers, is probably 30% plus or minus.
Big number.
I mean, you're a hotel guy, so you know better than anybody.
It's hard.
But to get that higher quality that kind of separates you from the extended stay product that we've got a ton of, which is a great product, but
it is.
But as part of a master plan, like a mixed use development, we need
some quality hotels.
Yeah, I think so. So to me, that's, and I know, I think the city's exploring something like that. That's that'll take a study and that'll take time. But to me, that is important.
We have done real good. Just speaking of the hotels, I mean, Omni actually has really helped tremendously.
Huge.
And then the national renovation was great. And we just renovated the Skirvin, and the Concord is still up there, and then the Ambassador. So we really got 5 good products in the central core.
Correct.
We have nothing in the burbs.
That's right.
Nothing in the burbs. And we need to have some good quality there.
The quality is absolutely downtown.
Right. But you're right. The challenge is the construction cost.
That's right.
And then the interest and then the affordability of what people can and will pay for a hotel room. Rates have got to go up 20 to 30% for that to justify those numbers.
I think you're right, and it's chicken and the egg. They can't underwrite based on the current rent out. So you just
that's right.
So that's to me that's a challenge, because that's a critical piece in these mixed use projects.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's kind of something.
Well, Andy, it's been a great conversation. We used to get together. We talked about it. I think last time. I said I couldn't make it. We haven't rescheduled. We need to get together more often. It's been a fabulous conversation. Love catching up.
Anytime. I mean,
but now we're on film and people are going to watch our conversation.
Oh my gosh! So you move 5 times faster than I did.
No.
Yeah.
But well, thank you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.